Welcome to Just Great Movies as Trek December continues.
Hello, computer.
This one's the family favourite. Star Trek IV The Voyage Home is considered the best family-friendly Star Trek film in the entire franchise. What do you think? Is this the Trek all-rounder? Will the panel agree? Let's find out. Welcome to Trek December on the Trev Retro channel on Just Great Movies. Tonight we are doing Star Trek IV The Voyage Home, released November 26, 1986, with a runtime of 122 minutes, had a budget of $25 million, and it made $133 million back at the box office. Now, this one is like the all-rounder. It's considered, some say, Star Trek for normies, but it's usually a good starting point for anybody wanting to get into Star Trek, really, who's never really had a bite of the apple before. On the channel tonight is Phobos, also Z3PO, and joining us tonight, special guest, Anti-Derivative Jill. Thank you to everybody for being on tonight.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, I'll have you anytime, so you know that. Hello to everybody in the chat as well. Well done to, I think you were first, weren't you, Jill, in the chat?
Was I first in the chat? I suppose so. Yes,
Yeah,
I rewatched
you were.
Star Trek 4 last night, and it was just as amazing as ever.
Good. Loads of people in the chat tonight. Brogu7, David Jones, also Franco Walker in there. The Comic Relief Crusader, Paul Dickinson. Hello, you. How you diddling? Also, anybody else who joins in tonight, welcome along. Eraserhead's in there as well. Let me know what you think about this film. Argentum, hello. How are you tonight? What? Okay, I can forgive you for not liking space whales then. Who, me? Or somebody said something already. Anyway, we're going to go on straight into this because this is a fantastic film, and I think we might end up, talking and getting a bit carried away with it. But hey, it's a great film. It's Star Trek. Who cares? So we get to start off with this. An unknown probe. Z, what do you know about unknown probes?
I know that they're just basically recycling the plot of the first movie, of this massive behemoth coming to Earth, shutting off everything in its path, waiting for a response to a signal.
Do you know, you make a very good point.
Except it's a mysterious alien probe. We don't know where it came
Oh yeah,
from.
mysterious alien probe this time.
And
But
Are you into alien probing at all, Z?
I am. I have many tentacular-sized objects.
Are we talking about The Simpsons again? We were talking about The Simpsons briefly off air. And I'm thinking about those two, I can't remember, is it Clang and somebody else?
Clang and Kronos.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was thinking about them. Yeah, so an unknown probe, and it's got this weird energy wave about it. Yeah, again, recycling another part of Trek. When I think of energy waves, I always think of the Genesis wave. But that's just me. So we're on board the Saratoga, a Miranda-class vessel. Now,
female black captain.
Well, yeah, that is probably a first, really.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
It is.
And
she also goes on to play LeVar Burton. Oh, not LeVar Burton, but Geordie's mom in TNG.
Does she now? There we go. That's a Trek fact that I didn't even know. Look at the helmsman there. Doesn't he look strikingly like the Federation president in the next film? Not the next film, the one after the next.
Yeah,
I forgot the species, but they have been making a big thing about it because there's a character in Starfleet Academy, which comes out January 15th, and she's of the same race. But the thing is, Kurtwood Smith's character acted like he was blind. So I'm just wondering what's the deal? Was he just a one-off, or are that species got bad eyesight? Are they like mole men?
Oh, he's definitely he's definitely a one-off, and because he has some problems where his optic nerves interface with his brain, they couldn't do like eye transplants or artificial eyes, so hence they made the visor.
We were talking about Kurtwood Smith's character in Star Trek 6, but never mind.
Definitely isn't Kurtwood Smith, but his species is an Afrosian.
That's it. I remember now. Yeah, because there's been rumblings about that. Meanwhile, at the Federation Council, the bloke who played Herman Munster in The New Monsters is a Klingon here. Yeah. And he's with Sarek, talking to the Federation president about the goings-on at the Genesis planet. Klingons were definitely in the wrong here, and yet they argue in the toss.
They're also a little bit uncharacteristically whiny for Klingons, you know? Like, why don't they... I was discussing this with Jill earlier. They seem to be kind of like, you know, wow, look what you did to us. That's not very Klingon of them.
No, do you think this is a continuation of Star Trek 3 where they're supposed to be Romulans?
Well, that was originally the plan, and I think they should have stuck with that in the grand scheme of things.
Well, to be honest, the behaviour they're exhibiting here is more Romulan-like than it is Klingon. Go ahead, Jill.
Oh, definitely.
And that is the evolution of Klingons. Ever since Day of the Dove, they had started to change. In Day of the Dove, the idea of honor opened up, and it continued, of course, with Star Trek 3, as you said, replacing the Romulans, kind of gave them a bit of a different personality. So now they're demanding to be able to extradite Kirk, to be able to make him face Klingon justice. And that is something that doesn't seem too far off for me.
I wonder how the film would have played out if they'd have actually gone with the Romulan plot. I'm just curious to know, what would the Romulans have looked like in a TOS movie?
They would look like Spock.
They would have looked like Spock. I don't know. Maybe they would have gotten some kind of ridges already, because they do.
Yeah, I like the Michael Westmore Next Gen interpretation. I think that's quite cool. Meanwhile, on Vulcan,
on the map
that Klingon was John Shuck, and he was
that's right,
Leonard Nimoy's brother-in-law. And also, I hate to bring it down, but you missed the very first screen of Star Trek 4, which is very important to me. It is a commemoration or a memorial to those that we lost on the Challenger that day. And
well, we did discuss that, and we thought, just not like lowering the mood. You know what I mean? I just thought we'd mention it at the end. It was going to be there, but now you've already mentioned it. It saves me doing it at the end. So either or. So there we go. We're on Vulcan, and this is the stolen Klingon bird of prey, which didn't have a name up until now, and it ends up being called one of my favourite chocolate bars, Bounty.
HMS Kit Kat.
No.
Or my favorite paper towel roll.
Really?
Yeah, we have Bounty.
Does that have Chad Sexington on it?
Don't know.
Can you remember that? We're on about The Simpsons. That's just come to my mind, where Marge was in love with the man on the paper towel wrapper. And Doma rang him up and said, "Hello, this is Chad Sexington." Sorry, getting off topic. Anyway, they make the decision collectively to go back to Earth to face the consequences of their actions. They committed mutiny. How fitting that they called the ship HMS Bounty, which makes Bones. It says, Bones' sense of irony. I thought it would have been Kirk with his sense of history.
What were they doing for 3 months on Vulcan, too? I mean, I know what Spock was doing, but what were these guys really doing that whole time?
They were refitting the inside of the ship more to a Federation standard so they could fly it back to Earth.
And they couldn't get an Uber or, a Vulcan transport or something. I know it's nitpicky, but I would just think...
I don't know. I think this just makes a good plot device because it's got a cloaking device, and they can go back in time and park it anywhere, really. Nobody's going to notice unless you run into it.
Yeah. And McCoy complains that they don't get a ship. They don't get a different ship.
Yeah. My canon is they were in no rush to return, but the Federation was in no rush for them to come back either because they didn't really want to prosecute them.
All plot devices. It's all part of the story. All works. So Spock's been retraining his mind in Vulcan education. And the computer asks him how he feels. And the computer knows that he's half human. So he turns to his mother for a bit of an answer. which, she gives him a fair point. The computer knows you're half human. How do you feel? So I like this. When Spock comes back, he's never completely 100% logical again. And he even bends logic to suit his needs later on in Star Trek 6.
Yeah, and Amanda Grayson there was played by Jane Wyatt, who also played the same role in the original series episode Journey to Babel.
Did indeed.
As
well,
did
she
Mark
looks really
Lenard,
great.
She looks fantastic.
as did Mark Lenard, his father.
Yeah. Who played the first Klingon in the TOS era movies. Yeah, there we go.
Played the first Romulan as well.
He did?
The Romulan commander.
Yeah, I believe he was the first actor to play 3 different alien species on the show.
See, man of many talents. Same as James Doohan, he provided a good 70 to 80% of all the other voices on the series, like Nomad and the computers and other things of that nature. So anyway, this probe goes past the I forgot the name of the ship now. Anybody want to remind me? Saratoga. There we go. Which is a Miranda-class vessel, like I mentioned before. And it gets completely neutralized, which is a great word that gets used a lot in this film. Nice that they've reused the Star Trek 3 bridge sets. That's saving cash.
But the probe is having an effect on the ships, but unlike V'ger, it's not actually attacking any of them.
Well, it may as well do, because it shuts down all of its power, which means life support is gone.
I don't know. I think that's sooner be without power than life.
Yeah, floating around in the cold darkness of space.
It's all right. They can all cuddle. They can hug together.
What a horrible way to die.
What, cuddling?
Well, something still works, presumably like the battery power, because they do have some emergency lights on there. But they never really addressed it. But I assume as the probe got further away, their power is restored. They never really get specific about what's happening.
They give some hope that everything's going to be okay, because he says, well, we're going to use some solar sails, so everybody's not going to die immediately.
Yeah, that Indian captain on that other ship, does anybody recognize him from any other films?
He was in some of the Arrowverse shows, wasn't he? He was like Oliver's stepdad or something?
Well, that guy in the background there, he was in Octopussy with Roger Moore.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah. Oh, look, there we go. Proper bit of Trek nostalgia going off there. Does anybody recognize the gentleman to the right?
Admiral Cartwright.
Yes, that's... Yeah, Admiral Cartwright, who's played by Brock Peters, who, of course, also plays Joseph
Benjamin Sisko's dad. Yeah, there we go. How Star Trek likes to recycle their actors, which is a great thing. Did you know Jane Wheatland's in this film? Anybody know that?
No.
Yes, because I saw her name in the credits like a few hours ago.
Yeah, she's one of the people in in Starfleet Command's headquarters that's running the monitors. Yeah, because she liked Star Trek so much, she got herself a part in it. We see Robin Curtis as Savick. No mention of what happened on Genesis stays on Genesis, right? See,
that's right. She's not gone off to have Spock's baby at all.
There's we'd never see the baby if there is a baby.
We see the grown up.
Yeah, but that's fan picture. So the Otoy film.
Paramount.
Pardon?
No, in
reunification.
Yeah.
Or unification.
We miss it.
Unification,
we missed it. But in the last scene, we had Major Barrett performing Dr. Chapel for the last time.
Yeah.
And
well, we didn't go into minutia with the slides, to be fair, because
Oh, but I love the minutia. There's a table. Also. There's a table there too.
We're a bit more relaxed here.
Headquarters that will show up in the engineering in TNG.
Dr. McCoy, the holy trinity of Star Trek there. The head, the heart, and the man who is Kirk. And that just keeps reminding me of a jiu-jitsu gi.
Did you know that Indian captain, his name is Vijay Amritraj. He was a professional tennis player.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the guy from Arrow. I mixed him up, but yeah, he and he was the captain of the Yorktown in the movie.
Ah. Now, this is a great shot of the Klingon bird of prey taking off from Vulcan. Now, ILM handled all the special effects for all the light spacey stuff and the VFX, not the live action stuff, of course. But it's a fantastic matte painting there of Vulcan.
Oh, yeah.
And Vasquez Rocks, too, helped also.
Yeah, so they take off. And then Amanda.
Dry.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Amanda there with her daughter-in-law now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. What happened on Genesis stays on Genesis. Meanwhile, at Earth Space Dock, Whaley Space Probe. Can we call it the Whaley Probe? I think that's a good.
Call it whatever you want.
I call it the humpback probe.
The hump probe. There we go. Hump probe. I bet you've had a few hump probes over the years.
I have, yes. I had one just before I came on. Quite refreshing.
Well, this probe is
I didn't actually mention any names, but you answered anyway. Go on, Jill.
This probe's entire conceit is that the most intelligent creature on Earth is the humpback whale.
Yeah.
So he's coming back. So you can call it the whale probe.
Not smart enough to avoid spears, though. Bless it.
And remember, canonically, the space dock is 5 miles tall, which makes this thing freaking enormous.
It's a whopper, all right. And, the Excelsior, it can't be that good a ship because it's always in space dock. So they try to launch all vessels and then the lights go out, but nothing new for Excelsior.
It's like modern electric cars. I mean, you can repair a petrol or diesel vehicle, just take it down your local garage. Something goes wrong with your electric, you're going to need an electrician with a PhD and a computer programmer.
Yeah, I say it's more like the F-35, which, it's had more than its share of problems during its development.
Yeah, it had the longest shakedown cruise in the history of Starfleet, didn't it, really? I don't like what they did to the model. The original Excelsior, they repurposed it for generations and added those horrible fins and extra impulse engines on it. I mean, I didn't mind the impulse engines, but the fins at the bottom, no, they just look dodgy. What did you reckon, Jill?
Oh, which one? Which ship?
When they modified Excelsior for generations.
Oh, no, I didn't really have too much of an opinion about it.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, well, never mind.
I'll tell you what,
I'm less of a ship girl. That sounds fine.
I think Excelsior is the
young minds, fresh ideas.
Yeah, and it's all going free for all. Z, you were saying, let me be the host, people.
Why, if the power's all been drained, do these shuttlecraft slow down and not continue their momentum in space and smack into the ship?
Do you know, that's an interesting point, but yet again, physics doesn't always work in movies.
Yeah, can I change the laws of physics?
Yeah.
Fair point.
A lot of people ask me about the thumbnail for the video. What did you mean by you can't take it anymore? I think it's pretty self-evident, and if you have to ask, you already know the answer. I don't think he could take it anymore, do you, Z?
I don't think so.
No. The downside of this probe's energy wave is, when it's focused down towards Earth's oceans, it starts evaporating them. And there we go. We tie this movie in with the whole eco aspect, which Leonard Nimoy was trying to peddle very hard in this film, not only against commercial whaling, but also environmental reasons and how, the planet's being damaged and global warming and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Klingon bird of prey heading towards Earth. And I thought that was, they did a better job of lighting the models and colouring them in this film. Do you know the only thing that lets this film down for me?
Go on.
It needed a James Horner soundtrack. It would have given the 3 films, 2, 3, and 4, like that because they were all supposed to be a continuation, weren't they? It was a 3-part trilogy. It would have given it that overall feel of that. It lacked cohesion, this film, with the other two, I think.
I rather like the soundtrack to this movie, though.
Really?
It definitely has similar characteristics to James Horner's music. It's a little lighter, lighthearted, but it still has that naval maritime feel to it.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, also Christmassy too, honestly.
The space dock is pressurized, so there's an atmosphere in there, and that's why the ship slowed down.
There you go. So anyway, lots of problems on the radio side of things. Uhura's monitoring communications left, right, and centre. Everything's overlapping, multiple distress signals and whatnot. Oh, what crikey, what's going off there? Meanwhile, Dr. McCoy tries to have a chat with Spock, and I love this bit. And he says, you really have been where no man has been before. And he says, do you want to have a chat about it? And Spock says, I don't have a common frame of reference. And McCoy says, what? So for me to have a chat with you about it, I've got to die first? And then he says, you'll have to excuse me, Doctor, I'm receiving multiple distress signals because I don't doubt it. I thought that was a great bit of comedy.
The banter between Spock and McCoy all throughout this movie is some of the best parts of the film.
Yeah, they do seem to bounce off each other very well. Jill, you were about to say?
Yes, and he does almost die in shore leave, so I wonder if there was any kind of, he had any experience there at all that was similar to Spock's, but he couldn't talk about it.
There you go. Commander, thing is, I don't think Admiral Cartwright's the top man, is he? It's the other guy who's in Star Trek 6. But there's the Federation president, and they're trying to sort things out. Sarek missed his shuttle home. Talk about bad timing. It's almost like another plot device, a way to keep him on screen. And this Federation president, he looks a bit sketchy.
No, he looks like Salieri from Amadeus. And he's bad.
Yeah.
He does look a little bit like him.
But there's some great model shots. This is a recycled shot from 3, if anybody noticed. You know when they were looking at the Genesis data tapes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, reusing of shots. So anyway, they get a distress signal from, just 1 second, they get a distress signal from the Federation HQ, and the Federation president saying, oh, there's a probe in orbit and it's destroying us atmosphere. You need to keep away. It's neutralizing every ship that comes near us. And yet again, that's kind of compounding the whole theme about saving the planet. Z, you was going to say?
Yeah, when you talk about Star Trek reusing actors, you've got Robert Ellenstein there, who was in Next Generation 1 year later in the episode Haven.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Did you see the sequel to that one, Z?
Which one?
Haven. Did you see the follow-up to that one?
Which was?
Shaven Haven.
Shaven Haven.
So anyway, the team all collaborate and get their heads together to decide what they're going to do about it. And Spock comes up with an idea saying, well, I don't think anybody's going to get a response. Because they do this thing where Kirk says to Uhura, can you run that sound of the probe as though it was underwater, because that's where the transmissions were being aimed at. And we get a bit of whale song eventually. So Spock goes down to the engineering section to do a bit of research, and it turns out it's the humpback whale. We've got to go back and get some humpbacks. Humpback? People? Whale, Scotty. That's another good bit of comedy. You know, just they've got no experience of what a whale is, because obviously in this time period, there aren't any about. So Kirk was home.
It would have been a different movie entirely if they had to go back in time for a hunchback and they flew to Notre Dame.
Esmeralda. The bells.
They had to ring the bell, yeah.
Yeah.
How do they know what whales sound like if they've been extinct for that long? That's my question.
Because Spock's a clever chap, you know? He knows. He just knows these things.
Well, the database had kept it. The sounds.
Speaking of bells, Z, anything? I bet you've rang a few bells in your time.
Yes, I certainly have.
Being the lovable droid you are, Kirk
Yes.
phones home and tells Starfleet of his plan to go back in time and try and get some humpback whales, as you do. So it's full steam ahead. And this is great. That bridge was massive in the third movie. So they've obviously done some engineering work and made it a bit more Federation friendly, a bit more user friendly. So the plan is to speed up to maximum warp and then slingshot around the sun and be in time warp. That's great. That is so 60s. Time warp. And I'm not thinking of the song.
But very specifically 60s, because that slingshot effect is from Tomorrow's Yesterday from the original series.
It is indeed.
In,
And yet again, another use of recycling. This film borrows heavily. It's almost like it was cobbled together.
Well, it adds a bit of continuity because they're not time traveling out of nowhere. Although that episode, it does seem like the Federation's playing a little dodgy, fast and loose with time travel, you know. But on the other hand, it doesn't feel like a Deus Ex Machina either, since we've already know they've done that.
Yeah, it's also really weird that they're attempting time travel in a vehicle they've stolen from Doc Brown.
Yeah. Christopher Lloyd's the only person to have 2 time machines stolen.
Oh, that explains why they have leather jackets and 20th century clothes on board, though.
Let me just have a quick catch up with the chat because I'm trying to flip flop between everything tonight. Skyfire says to Franco, part of the exile on Vulcan, including adding the latest Federation database to the Klingon bird of prey, which I thought was quite funny, really. Brogu7 says everyone knows that Klingon ships are great for time travel. I did not know that. There we go. And it's funny because, as David Jones says here, Wedge slingshot around the sun and breaking the barrier to time travel. How other TV shows and sci-fi shows have nicked that very same idea, because Stargate did it too. If you get one of the wormholes that traverses a solar flare, you can manipulate it to time travel, which they did in the movie Continuum, the Stargate TV movie Continuum.
Well, they did it in an episode 1969 too, which
they did indeed. Yeah, and they met a young General Hammond.
When they're going toward the sun, they are going more than 900 times the speed of light, and the sun is only 8 minutes from the Earth, so it would have not hung around on screen that long either.
No.
Just saying.
There is another point I'll make a little bit later on about warp speed inconsistencies. This was one of the few scenes, few bits of the film that I didn't really think worked for it, because you've got the bit where they're all sort of like having this lucid dream, and you get all like these CGI effects.
They're not. They're carved styrofoam heads.
Are they now?
Yes.
That's pretty damn good then, because I thought they were CGI.
They are not.
Good man, you've done your homework.
And when the movie came out, these didn't look nearly as bad as they do now. It actually looked pretty cool. Yeah, and in the 1980s, the effects were quite good. It does look a little dated now.
Does anybody know the name of this whale? It's Donna, and she likes Greg's sausage rolls and clubbing around Chesterfield at the weekends. Is that one styrofoam as well, the model of the human?
I'm not entirely sure.
I thought it might have been dry ice.
I know that most of the whale shots are model shots, and the studio actually had to go out and state that because activists were being a little bit piffy.
ILM made them animatronic ones.
Yeah, they got tons of letters, angry letters at people thinking they abused whales, and they didn't use a single real-life whale in this entire movie. They were all rubber and animatronics.
Most of it, over 90% of the movie is animatronics, but they did have a couple of distant shots of whales, but they never, you're right, when Spock does the mind meld, it's not on a real whale.
Yeah, those were open ocean shots, though. They didn't capture or wrangle the whales. They just...
You have to be wary of those open shots. Manuel Grill says that idea creates all sorts of problems. What keeps the Klingons or Romulans to do what the Borg tried in First Contact? Well, it's a plot device, and it's a very handy one at times. And then Argentum says, what did I say about bringing science into this?
So what could be happening then is we keep going back in time to kill an Austrian painter, but the Klingons also go back in time and stopping us.
Oh, warp speed is time travel. Well, no, because you take yourself out of space-time and you're inside a warp bubble. Skyfire 85, well done. Black hole reference. In, through, and beyond. But I can't do it in the style of Maximilian Schell, which is weird. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I always liked The Black Hole. That's a Christmas movie. So the crew are all a bit sparko, and when they come round, they're above Earth. And there's a great line. We're probably already on the scopes of the tracking devices of the time, so they cloak themselves. Meanwhile, in engineering, it's these Klingon crystals, Admiral. They're not quite as robust as the Federation ones. Anybody recognize that prop?
The crystals themselves or the...
No, what they're inside. Although, we have seen this before, and it did have those crystals inside it. So where have we seen that prop that's on the top of that upside-down triangular plinth?
That looks like the warp core.
The one that Spock was repairing, yeah, in Star Trek 2. That was the top of the intermix chamber. When he had to realign all the bits to make warp drive work again.
Is that upside down?
No, it went on top, didn't it? On top of a cylindrical tube.
But wasn't that in Star Trek 2 a prop that came from Star Trek the Motion Picture?
No, because that particular part of engineering did not exist in Star Trek the Motion Picture. It was a plot device to kill Spock off, wasn't it, if you think about it? So they repurposed the set and added that room, which became the warp core. Bizarre having a warp core that's not actually in the warp chamber, which is weird. Very bizarre.
They should have replaced the dodgy Klingon dilithium crystals with Folger crystals. It would have been a lot better.
You were trying to say, Jill?
No, apologies. I have to step away for a second.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, so they can't recrystallize dilithium, apparently. And Scotty says to Kirk, we can't even do that in the 23rd century.
Yeah,
but they come up with an idea anyway.
Yeah, they come up with an idea. So he goes back forwards in time, and now he's got an idea of how to recrystallize dilithium.
Forwards and the backwards and the forwards. Ezra's the geezer who likes to muscle in.
How do you know he didn't invent the procedure?
You never know. You said procedure. I like that.
Yeah, this is one of the shakier plot points, because if they can do it from a secondhand Klingon, junk heap in the 20th century, they could certainly do it in the 23rd century. If they wanted to, they could make a dirty fission reactor to create the energized photons that Chekhov picks up. They don't, but it's a little easy. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting line here. San Francisco. I was bummed I'm born there.
Oh my.
Oh, that was supposed to be a setup. That was supposed to be set up, and it was supposed to be paid off. I'm so sorry.
Okay, thank you for killing the joke, Jill. Thank you. So anyway, I love this. When he turns around and they're all like looking at him and they're flying over San Francisco. I thought that was really good. It just looked cool. So they land in Golden Gate Park on a dustbin, of all things, while the bin men are out. I told her I'm not paying $60 for a toaster oven. They don't even sound like they're from San Francisco. The fat one sounds like he's from Brooklyn. It's weird. I didn't see nothing, and neither did you. And they just get on the bin lorry and disappear.
Yeah, they were definitely Bronx sanitation workers that were borrowed for this movie.
Yeah, the accent, the dialect for the region does not sound like that, which is weird.
Yeah. Now, for people who haven't been, I think only people in New York have any idea just how freaking big Golden Gate Park is. It is enormous.
It's monstrous, is it?
Yeah, you can walk around there for hours and not hit the other side. It's very narrow and long, but I mean, they have restaurants in there. They have sporting arenas, playing fields.
I've only ever Ubered past it. I haven't actually been in it. So
yeah,
I will take your word on that.
Yeah, I think it's about 3. If you go from end to end down Sunset, it's like a 3-minute drive if you're speeding like I do. But it's plenty big for them to sort of land a cloak ship and no one ever walk into it.
Ista.
Everybody remember where we parked.
Ista.
Yes.
Why you look where you're going, dumbass?
Well, double dumbass.
Well, double dumbass to you too. Okay. I was living in San Francisco around the time of this movie. They're right at the intersection of Columbus, which is a weird street that goes diagonal of 45 degrees to all the other streets. Why do you see a bunch of triangular looking intersections? And there,
do you notice the reactions of the people in the background? There's a guy next to a rubbish bin, and he's just watching him film it. The lady in green's being very nosy, and the old couple further back, they're like, "What's going off there then?" But they did actually just film it on street corners, and there's even a woman a little bit later on who was totally random, and they asked her a question. And they filmed it because her reaction was so natural. They had to get her to sign a bit of paper, and she actually gets a royalty from the movie now.
Oh, is that the Alameda hippie chick?
Yeah.
Oh, but they're right at the foot of the Transamerica Pyramid building. I'm sure you'll have a slide where you see these triangular columns that go back and forth.
Yeah, that is a bizarre junction, isn't it? There.
Yeah, it's like a 5.5-way intersection. So.
Yeah.
I think it's either Kearney or Geary Street in Columbus. Which
Don't you
also
guys have roundabouts in
roads.
America? Don't you have roundabouts in America?
They are not in San Francisco. They're becoming more common now, but I think we started putting them in about 20 years or so ago. But there's actually no room here to put any in.
I can imagine. The existing infrastructure is not very supportive. But anyway, they've removed all their rank and insignia from their uniforms, which is good for them.
You look like a cadet review.
Yeah. But then he goes and sells his glasses that he got from Dr. McCoy in Star Trek 2 because Kirk is allergic to Retinox 5. And because if you get older, when you start getting age-related eyesight problems, they give you an injection for it, and it solves the problem. But he gets $100 for these glasses, and he's like, "Is that a lot?" They don't know. There's no money in the future, which is a bit weird, really.
And also he says, that's the beauty of it. It's going to be my birthday present again.
Although technically it is, but not for that particular Kirk, because he's already experienced that moment in time, which is weird. Oh, the pleasures of time travel. Z, do you think the plot to this is malleable?
It works.
It does, doesn't it?
It's
One
like
doesn't
with
get
any
from
time
Dr.
travel
McCoy.
movie. It really doesn't stand up under scrutiny.
Yeah. If you were any other time travel movie, I would kill you where you stand.
Yep.
So it's a different movie. While Spock's trying to... Yeah, when Spock's trying to work out the locations of the whales because there's a map next to the bus stop, Kirk's like saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll find a couple of humpbacks called George and Gracie at the Cetacean Institute in Sausalito." How did you work that out, Admiral? Simple logic. But what does it mean, exact change?
Do the people in our chat even know who George Burns and Gracie Allen are anymore?
Possibly not.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. I love George and Gracie, but I had no idea they were
whales
named after. No, I knew they were whales. I didn't know they were people.
Oh, interesting fact there. Argentum, thank you for that, Milanen, says $100 in 86 is now $295.73. The
Not
more
in
you
California, it isn't.
That's not for me to discuss all things Americana.
Yeah,
I
but
love this.
It's more. Its stuff is significantly more expensive in California.
Around here was when around this scene was where Sulu was supposed to meet his his ancestor rather, and
I thought it was the Yellow Pages scene.
His great. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But it's around this scene.
Yeah.
Except
now, this is interesting. What's wrong with the picture here where you have a Russian in 1986 America asking a police officer where the nuclear vessels are?
Oh, I thought that was one of the village people. Where I was seeing, where's the Indian and the plumber?
Apparently,
it's the cop?
Z was telling me that's called the hot cop look. Is that right, Z?
It is. Anything of YMCA origin is hot.
Right. So what, like hot construction worker, hot Indian, hot cowboy?
Yep.
I met the cowboy once. I forgot his name now. Randy. Is it Randy?
Was it a gay bar?
No, it was at a radio station, but close enough. Oh, crikey. Yeah. And there was another one as well. Oh, crikey. Was it a biker? Anyway.
Yeah, I think the biker was the cop.
Oh, right.
A separate biker. Who knows?
Oh, no, the Navy bloke.
The sailor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it, the sailor. Nuclear vessels. Can you tell me where the nuclear vessels are?
Well, the sailor's clearly in Alameda waiting for Chekhov to show up.
And then they ask a nice lady where the nuclear vessels are, and she says, I think they're over the bay in Alameda. That's what I said, Alameda. That's the worst Chekhov impression ever. Oh,
it was just fine. Layla Sarah Carlo is the extra.
Yeah.
Got paid.
Yeah, that's Kirk Thatcher. But the village people had a policeman and a biker, separate.
There we go. And it's interesting how Kirk Thatcher came back and played the same character in Picard season 2, but looked very like he was on some kind of list, an offenders list.
What's this?
What made me stop watching that season?
You refer to? I've never even heard.
Oh,
I stopped watching Picard season 2 when I heard they redid Star Trek 4. I was not going to watch the bastardization of my favorite movie, and so
it wasn't great, and I don't think there was any real need for it. I think they just did it for the sake of it, really, and just to give Kirk Thatcher a gig. Did anybody know what Kirk Thatcher did? Kirk Thatcher did.
Yeah, he wrote the punk rock song here.
Well, not only that, he went on to be one of the producers on Dinosaurs. Do you remember that? Not the mama. You know, Henson's Dinosaurs.
I do remember that. It's so fun. Yeah, the puppet dinosaurs.
Yeah, he was one of the producers of that show. But yeah, Kirk Thatcher, he did indeed write the song for this, and he paid the price for it. And after flipping Kirk and Spock the bird, Spock just gives him the Vulcan nerve pinch. And the funny thing is, when he hits the deck, literally, as in tape deck, it switches off, and everybody on the bus claps. Yay!
As far as they know, they could have killed him.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they would have cared either way. It's San Francisco.
Have you seen what happens there? Cacophony stopped.
Yeah. Anything's a bonus. So they finally get some exact change. I wonder if they went and had a donut and a coffee to break a $20 bill. I don't know how buses work. I know how buses work, but I don't know how they work in America. Because you just get on one here, and you just ask for an all-day ride, and you just pay for it. In fact, there's buses that go round with a picture of a young lady on the back saying, "Ride me all day for £3." Now, that's an offer you can't turn down, Z.
I'll do it for $2.50.
Well, there's an offer I can't refuse. So this is Dr. Gillian, and she is a cetacean scientist studying specifically in Wales. Now, that was a great bit we didn't see a picture of. But on the bridge, Kirk says to Spock, it's proven fact that nobody's ever seen an extraterrestrial before. So he rips a bit of his suit off and turns it into a headband, as you do. And then we get this great bit here. Oh, what do you think they're singing about? Oh, maybe they're singing to that man. And Spock's doing a mind meld. Just jump in the tank with them. And you can clearly tell that's an animatronic.
It looks pretty good, though.
I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't tell it was an animatronic. I think it totally fools me. And actually, Catherine Hicks steadied whales to prepare to be Dr. Jillian Taylor.
Yeah. Can I go back for a quick second?
There you go.
That song, they were originally going to use something sort of new wavy from the time, and Nimoy wasn't satisfied. So the music supervisor, Mark Mangini, and Kirk Thatcher wrote a punk song and recorded it out in a hallway using the crappiest mics they had on hand, and created a fictional band called The Edge of Etiquette that lasted for about 1.5 days.
Nice.
It's one of the most genuine punk rock songs ever. It's like it should be very much heralded that he did that.
Yeah, it was written.
I'm surprised it isn't on the internet as a full release. That'd be quite cool to find that on YouTube or something.
Well, everybody, when the movie came out, was looking for this band called The Edge of Etiquette, and they couldn't find them because they're actually credited in the credits. But it's the most punk rock song written and recorded in the most punk rock way, and the band breaks up also in an exceedingly punk rock way. So.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, Punchy in the chat says coffee and donuts are probably banned in the future. Well, obviously not. Janeway has it about 15 cups a day. So Gillian Taylor comes in and says, "What the hell are you doing in my tank messing up my fish?" They're not the hell your whales. We get more colourful metaphors in this act of the film because they have a chat about language and how you have to swear every other word just to get noticed. And then Kirk's like, "Explain yourself, man." And then he turns around and says, "Well, Admiral, if these whales were ours to do with as we wished, we would be guilty as those who caused their extinction," which Gillian recites word for word a little bit later on. Meanwhile, in Alameda, they finally got there. Chekhov and Uhura find the ship with a nuclear reactor. And Admiral, it's the Enterprise. There we go.
And so they couldn't actually get the real Enterprise, so it's the USS Ranger. But I love the idea to make it.
Yeah, and you are not walking up to the edge of the Alameda Naval Base like they're doing there, man. It was like razor wire and armed guards all around the place.
Why have you tried getting in? Do you know?
Well, yeah, it was across the bay from where I lived. Not
in Alameda.
When you drove by it, where they keep the nuclear vessels.
Vessels in Alameda.
Yeah, which is right next to Oakland and Berkeley.
Where Spock did too much LDS.
LDS.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Catherine Hicks here because her performance in this film, I think, is stellar.
Somebody told me it was her birthday the other day. I don't know how true that was.
She was born on August 6th.
Whoever told me that then, you are a liar. You know who you are.
And of course, she was gone on to be the wife of another Star Trek alum in the TV show Seventh Heaven, but we don't talk about him. And
why?
Oh, well, you can just think of him as Decker from the motion picture.
He got his brass monkey out, didn't he? Or his tails off.
She just does a great job here of being convincing and plausible, without sort of going over the top. She's appropriately skeptical. But you can tell underlying everything she does is that sort of desperation and love for her whales and the pain. It's the desperation to do something about their circumstances, which makes her more open-minded to the insane stories that she's hearing from these two guys.
She's certainly better in this than she was in Chucky. And that's a discussion for another time. Meanwhile, Mr. Sulu is in San Francisco. What do you do in San Francisco? Chat to other men. Hi, nice looking bird. Are you free tonight? Oh my. So that's a Huey 204. I flew something similar in my academy days. So he's clearly trying to chat this guy up. What do you think?
Well, I just love the way that, he's a hotshot pilot in any era. I kind of there.
Yeah. Well, he is in any era because it is established that he loves classic stuff in the original series. He loves classic weapons, and it makes sense that he would be into classic vehicles also.
Yeah.
And airplanes.
Because he's a bit of a 20th century history buff, as was Tom Paris, which is interesting. But thing is, you've only just met this guy, and Sulu must be good because this guy lets him borrow the helicopter. Huh? He must be good.
Absolutely.
He just didn't hand him the keys, did he? There's got to be more to it than that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's got to be more to it. Meanwhile, the
insurance.
Yeah. They go off, Scotty and Dr. McCoy, because they want some plexiglass, because transparent aluminum or aluminium doesn't exist in this time period. So they need some plexiglass 6 inches thick to hold the water in these whale tanks that they're proposing to build inside the Klingon bird of prey. And he says, use the computer. Hello, computer. I love this scene. This is just great. And he says, use the keyboard. So he starts tapping away, and he comes up with transparent aluminum. I can't say it. Aluminum. It's hard for me to say aluminum. When I know damn well it's aluminium.
Yeah. Think of Sulu. He's going al-u-min.
There you go. Oh my.
And of course, the guy from Plexicorp is Alex Hinteloff, who is in like 1,000 other things.
I did not know that, but I do now. I wonder if any science nerds have looked at that and thought, that's nothing like what it should be. And it's amazing how Scotty knows how to run a Mac from 1986.
Yeah, anyway. Speeds he works at as well.
Yeah, he types a lot like I do. I'll give him that. He's.
I like that. They drop Spock off in the park and he just beams away. That'll be quite important a little bit later on, beaming away in the park. So they go for pizza and beer. Wow, what a combo. He's travelled back in time and he gets to have a 20th century beer, and he like takes a sip and he pulls a face like,
Trevor, what year was this movie? What year did this movie come out?
1986.
Do you know when the first patents of aluminum oxynitride, which is a real life transparent aluminum, although it's ceramic based, were filed in the United States Patent Office?
I'm going to have a wild stab in the dark because Sulu likes stabbing in the dark. I'll say 1986, bizarrely enough.
It was around 86, 87, yes, but we do actually have a transparent aluminum that came along. It doesn't look like that molecularly. But
surely it's aluminium.
Well, that too. It's basically an aluminum ceramic powder that's processed under extreme heat and pressure and polished, which creates a type of transparent aluminum.
There we go.
And but so it's anyway, just too expensive to be useful so far.
Have we done? Because you guys are geeking out with science stuff. It's not Bill Nye. It's just great movies. Trek December. If you just joined us, Star Trek 4, the Voyage Home. It's the one with the whales.
But you have to admit that when a science fiction thing happens at the same time its real life counterpart is essentially invented, that's kind of cool.
Yes. Art imitating life and vice versa. Now, this is a good part. Kirk gets a call from Scotty saying he's going to beam in Uhura and Chekhov to get those photons from that nuclear reactor on that naval vessel. And she says, we better get these to go. And she says, I suppose you don't use money in the future, because Kirk gives her a bit of a story. She don't believe him. And he says, of course we don't. So she ends up picking up the tab.
You skipped my favorite line and almost all.
Yes, me too.
Go on, I was waiting for somebody to step in.
Let me start it.
I'll let Jill.
Don't tell me. Okay, you respond, Istophobos.
Okay, I'll be Kirk.
Don't tell me. You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
Yes. I left a big enough gap to get a bus through. I'm glad you picked up on it in the end. When I drove past the bus stop, you both chirped up, and I like that. There we go. So this is the rebadged Enterprise, because it wasn't the Enterprise, as Jill rightly said before. And they're collecting high-energy photons from the nuclear reactor to use to inject into the dilithium chamber on the Klingon bird of prey to recrystallize dilithium. So Kirk tries to get the frequency and time when the whales are being released and the frequency of the trackers on the whales. And he says, I can, take your whales someplace where they'll never be hunted. And she just thinks he's full of it. But she just drops him off in the park with his pizza. And as she's driving away, you get to see like the light from the beam out. She turns around and the park's completely empty. Meanwhile, back on board, they're constructing these whale tanks. Anybody else want to pick up on any lines at all? No? Okay. So anyway, they're collecting these high-energy photons, but it's causing a bit of a blip on a radar screen. And it's determined that there's an intruder on board. Uhura manages to beam out, but because of the interference from the nuclear reactor, Scotty can't get a lock on Chekhov to pull him out. And he gets caught. A Russian in 1986 America on board a nuclear vessel. Anybody want to add anything at this point?
Yeah, here's a line. I'm not sure I can say it on the channel when they're interrogating him.
No.
Okay, I won't say it, but he's like, he's a Rusky. He's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Of course he's a Rusky, but there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna use that word. But it is the R word, and it's the one and only time it's ever used in Star Trek, and thankfully, never used again. There we go. You play games with me, mister, and we're through. I am? Can I go now? That's what led to that line. He goes, sorry, I'm going to have to stun you all. And he tries to fire off a stun shot, and it just makes out some little blippy noises. And he goes, must be the radiation. And he makes a beeline for the door trying to get away. So he gets promptly chased, and it doesn't really end well because he's surrounded by sailors. Have you ever been in an incident, Z, where you've been surrounded by manly sailors?
Portsmouth Harbour, Wednesday nights.
Ah, I hear you're kind of fond of seamen.
I am indeed.
In the Navy. But unfortunately, Chekhov falls off the ship. Oh, he's man overboard.
So there's the transparent aluminum with Scotty, but here, Chekhov leaves his phaser and communicator behind.
Yeah, but they don't work because of the radiation. It could be, just bits of junk.
So they just throw it away without knowing what it was.
Interesting. We've got a super Mr. Brown Alliance, £5. Dessert pot noodle. Happy Christmas, Trev. Happy Christmas, Ian. Hope you have a good one, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Brown.
I know. Very kind. Nice to see you on the channel. But it's not good news for Chekhov. Oh, dear. He's seen better days. That's what you get for nuclear vessels. Did you end up flat on your back after having a bit of a tussle with some seamen, Z?
Absolutely, every single night.
I don't know what
He's
you're
not
like.
the only one.
So it's good news on board the Klingon bird of prey because Spock's theory seems to work. The dilithium is recrystallizing in the chamber. So that means they can get full power back. That's probably why they couldn't get Chekhov out of that nuclear reactor area. There wasn't enough power to cut through the annular confinement beam and the Heisenberg compensators. Mind you, do Klingon transporters work the same as Federations? Because rumor has it that the Klingon, everything that's Klingon tech is either stolen or plundered from other races that they've had interactions with. And the majority of stuff's given to them by the Romulans for their coercion. Anyway, it's not a good day to be a cetacean scientist. Because, meanwhile, back at the whale tanks, the whales are gone. They were on the dance floor last time we were in the club, weren't they, Z?
They were indeed, but now they've gone, both of them, Sharon and Tracy.
You beat me to it there. I thought that would be a great name for a couple of whales, wouldn't it, San and Trey?
It would indeed.
Get it out of our fridge.
Oh dear, well then the lights go up at the nightclub and those two are left.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain that one for us across the pond?
Well, what it is, Baz made a drop of chips.
Nah.
The characters out of a adult humour magazine called Viz here in the UK.
Yes.
There's some rather portly ladies who have underwear issues where they keep dropping down. We'll leave it at that, shall we? Before we break any, any
Knock you off for a
copyright.
bag of chips.
Yeah. Oh, Baz. Anyway, I love this scene. Sulu's flying that gentleman's chopper. Do you think he's ever been on his chopper before, Z?
I think he most certainly has, the way he was charming him out of the chopper itself.
Well, if he's let Sulu go for a ride, then, you know, he must be a charmer. But I like how he thinks he's dead confident at flying this helicopter. And he flicks a switch, the windscreen wipers come on, and he absolutely freaks. Oh, I just love that scene. Jill, what do you think? This is one of them proper, like, genuine makes you laugh moments. Hello, computer. Computer.
Probably offline.
Yeah,
Hey.
I think he was
I had to
expecting
step away.
something
What
else.
was the question?
Okay.
Oh, Sulu, when he's overconfident at flying the helicopter and he flicks a switch and the windscreen wipers come on and he starts panicking.
Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been he could have flicked the switch for something more damaging. So these
I think he's been flicking more than a switch if he's come away riding somebody else's chopper.
The question is, what did he think he was turning on or off when he flicked that switch?
I don't know.
Did we talk about Jillian slapping Bob yet?
No,
that was a real slap. That was a real one.
We're past that, but she did.
Yeah, we're being economical on the slides.
Really?
Like
You
say,
but I always
don't have
the
the slide with Dr. Jillian's nips then?
You never know. So anyway,
be right back, guys.
In Golden Gate Park, there's a chopper with a large sheet of plexiglass going into nothing.
I do like a nice big chopper.
So I've heard. You and those sailors. Yes, Jillian did slap her boss. Yes, it's like chapel hat pegs in the park today. It's a bit nipply out.
I'll have to rub with the pink nurse.
It's a bit nipply out, AZ.
It is, yes. Very, very nipply out.
It was a cold day in the park that day. And I love this bit. Admiral, we may have a problem. Because there's a great scene where she runs into the park and she actually runs into the landing strut of the Klingon bird of prey. So she's
I love that footprint. I always love the footprint.
Yes, that certainly is a nice looking patch of grass. It looks very compressed. And I like how they've got the bin in there as well. It's still there. It's all crunched up underneath the several thousand tons of metal that is the Klingon bird of prey. So this is a great scene. Kirk's there looking. Oh, and you see that little thing there with the red lights either side of it? That is an important plot device a little bit later on. We'll get to see that when everything goes underwater, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So Dr. Jillian, she's tapping away at the side of the Klingon bird of prey. Kirk beams her on board. Not the first person in the 20th century to be beamed aboard. By this point, how many humans of the 20th century have been beamed in Star Trek, do you think?
Well, it's at least 3, right?
There's the Gary, not what was his name? The fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were two of
and the security guard who had hold of the communicator, and he gets beamed aboard the Enterprise, and Spock walks up to him. I thought that was great.
Are we counting the fake Earth people from 50 Chicago gangster?
No, because that was a different planet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but they look pretty human on there. Nice fedoras.
Yeah. So this is a great scene. She gets beamed aboard and she goes, "Oh, it's true. It was all true." And he went, "Yeah, welcome to Wonderland, Alice." And then he's like, Kirk's giving her the grand tour and there's tanks for your whales. So he wasn't spinning her a load of rolled rhubarb. He was being straight up with her. Huh? A spaceman came a-traveling, told me a fantastic tale, and it was all true, which is a rarity these days.
Yep.
So anyway.
He's not a spaceman. He's an Iwan. He just works as a spaceman.
He knows a lot about potatoes. Isn't that, or is that Idaho with the potatoes?
It's Idaho.
Ah, there we go. It began with an I. It's close enough.
She calls him a farm boy.
Ah, a landlubber, eh?
Oh, Terry Garr was also transported.
Was she?
Yes, it says she used both a compact transporter and the main version.
Ah.
As Roberta Lincoln in the Gary 7 episode, Assignment Earth.
Yeah. That was intended to be a spin-off, but it never happened, which is a shame, really.
Yeah, it was a backdoor pilot.
We got so cheated out of so much Terry Garr. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, we got to see her in Close Encounters. At least it was, science fiction, I guess.
When did Samuel Clements go onto the Enterprise in Time's Arrow?
But that's after this.
Yeah. So anyway,
if we go there, then we have to go to First Contact too.
Ah, well, you never know. Yeah. First Contact might be happening sometime soon on this channel. You never know. First week of January, one more Trek. There we go. Oh. I thought that'd round out Trek December nicely by doing First Contact. There we go. So anyway.
Wait, where is the Z? You must know something about First Contact.
Yes, I do indeed.
I can't keep doing the double entendres and tongue-in-cheekisms all the time,
Although, salute, £5.
I bet you've had more than a tongue in your cheek a time or two, haven't you, Z?
I have.
There we go. I got one in. There we go, Easter. That should fill your quota for at least 20 minutes now. So anyway, they managed to find out where Chekhov is, and Bones pleads with Jim that he can't be left in the hands of 20th century medicine. And it's true. Is it the right thing to do? No, it's the human thing to do. And Spock bowls Kirk over. He's actually tapping into that human side. This is what I said previously, how, Spock was never the same after the refusion. After he'd been inside McCoy's head, he was a little less logical, wasn't he, in future Treks?
He didn't quite get it right away, but his mother reminded him that he is still alive because his friends were human, because they did the human thing rather than the logical thing.
Yeah. So, he argues the toss saying he's there because of an error. Well, no, friends don't do that. Friends, they back each other up. They're there for each other. And it's nice to see Leonard Nimoy portray Spock with a bit more humanity in this film. He's almost a bit childlike and naive-ish at times. But then again, he's literally only, since the last film, 3 months and a couple of weeks.
Since he got his Carter back.
Yeah, so he's 3.5 months old, technically. If you think about it. There we go. So yeah, he is a little bit naive. Beware of half Romulan lieutenants on Genesis, because what happens on Genesis stays on Genesis.
And then it gets destroyed.
Yeah, we're coming up to one of my favourite scenes in this movie.
Mine too.
Because they're going to rescue Chekhov, and it's. Bones he's going out of his mind. He's just frustrated in his own skull at this because some of the medical procedures mentioned in this film drive him absolutely insane. And he goes, "What's your problem?" "Kidney dialysis." "Dialysis? Here, take one of these and call me in the morning." And
my God,
what is this?
No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. We'll get to that bit. But this is
just this one part. What is this? The Dark Ages?
Dialysis.
Yeah. You're 300 years in the past. What do you expect, man? Bones is a medical snob. He's always cranky about. I mean, what would he have them do with their given technology? Let her die?
Well, he's a human. He's been a humanitarian. He's a healer. He has to heal. He's taken the Hippocratic Oath. He's just doing what he does best, and that's making people better. But
I'm not complaining about that. It's just, what does he expect the other doctors to do?
Well, this is it. He can scoff.
Kind of thing.
He can scoff and guffaw at this and complain about the level of barbarism and leeches and stuff like that. But it's just so kind what he does. It's just him being him, really. But we'll get to the good part of this a little bit later.
He's able to do it here because he was also shocked and appalled by the ancient, even older medical technology in City on the Edge of Forever. But then he was out of his mind. So at least here he actually gets to make a difference.
Yeah. So anyway, they hatch a little bit of a plan. Gillian's going to pretend to be a patient. And she's got, is it medial upper abdominal distension? And he says, well, what's that then? He goes, oh, she's got cramps. So she goes in as a woman, and there's a joke here. I'll come back to it. But he just walks in, Bones does, into this operating theatre, and he just starts scanning away. And this doctor's like, who are you people? And he starts giving a diagnosis out. And the 20th century doctor says, what's your degree in dentistry? And they start arguing over diagnosis. And he goes, my God, man, drilling holes in his skull's not the way. The artery has to be repaired. And he sticks a little device on his head. Meanwhile, Kirk fires his weapon at that lock and melts it.
It's only phaser fire in the whole.
Yeah, true. And look at that classic bit here. This is how special effects artists know how to draw the laser beam in, because when weapons are fired in the science fiction shows on TV and in film, they usually light up on the end. If you didn't know before, you certainly do now. So anyway, he puts this. There's so many devices like this in Star Trek. It could be anything. Neural stimulator, for one example, used quite a lot in Voyager. Speaking of which, Star Trek and all the Paramount stuff is coming off of Netflix on January 8th in the UK. If you're currently binge watching any of the Trek series, now is the time, after the show, of course, not now. Now is the time to get watching before it goes. Obviously, Netflix and Paramount aren't friends anymore. They've had a bit of a tiff. So it's good news for Chekhov. 23rd century medicine comes in to save the day.
It's a good job he brought that contraption with him.
Yeah. I'll tell you what that kind of looks like to me. Does it not remind you of any robots out of 2000 AD?
No.
Are you sure? A little one that can be smoked.
What, Stogie?
Yeah.
No, Stogie's long, thin, cylindrical, and you can put it in your mouth.
I'm thinking of somebody else then.
You'll find on the naval base.
Or am I thinking of one of the Robusters?
Don't know.
I don't know. Good news, if anybody's a fan of 2000 AD, Duncan Jones has been posting quite a few tidbits on social media this week. Have you seen Z?
Yes, he's finished the Robusters Rogue Trooper film.
I caught you there, didn't I?
Yeah,
anyway.
For 3 years.
Yeah. So anyway, Chekhov starts coming around. And rank, name, Pavel Chekhov, rank, Admiral. He does become an admiral in the grand scheme of things, in the extended universe of Star Trek. Because he even gets a shout in season 3 of Picard. I know it's not your favourite, Esther.
No, what do you think that prop started out as?
Pardon?
What do you think the prop of the neural stimulator, what do you think that started out as? It looks like a little battery
a transformer.
I reckon I know exactly what that is. Can you remember the flip brushes of the 80s? You know, the folding half brushes? I reckon that's what they were. And they were sort of like, two were cut in half and then joined together. And then a few greeblies stuck on the top of it just to make it look a bit more exciting. And then a couple of LEDs in either bit. Or they could be battery cases for something.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a battery case on either side. I'm not sure what's on the top. But,
it could be anything. Let's thank Paramount's prop department for doing such a great job of making it look convincing.
Well, to answer your question, I don't hate it. It's just, listen, any old Star Trek is a joy to cover compared to the stuff which we will not speak of its name.
Yeah, there is that. And I for one, won't be partaking in Starfleet Academy, which starts January 15th. By the way, I don't. It's not for me. Anyway, the Doctor, because they went out on the trolley, or gurney is what you call them in the States.
Yeah, gurney will work.
Yeah.
By the way, if you did something as simple as get in a car accident where they thought you were drunk, you would be handcuffed to that gurney, and there would be several armed police officers outside your room. There is no way a suspected Russian spy, no way you're just going to be able to walk up to where he is in a hospital, even in a California hospital.
Exactly.
That is a good point.
Argentum says in the chat, I'm not watching Academy, but I'll laugh at it and then go about my day. Like anybody would. They
much of it as I can tolerate.
You can tell it's California. When they wheeled her in, she was a lady. When they wheeled him out, it was a dude.
Get one thing wrong.
One mistake. Yeah, so the cops get a bit suspicious, go into the operating theatre, and this doctor here, he's like, go get help. He's such a brave man. But anyway, there's a bit of a chase going on, and they go past that old lady. And these doctors are saying, that her kidneys have grown back and she doesn't need dialysis anymore. Her kidneys are fully functional. And she's going, Doctor gave me a pill and I've got a brand new kidney.
To echo Z, it's a good thing McCoy brought his grow a kidney pills with him.
It is, he was very selective. We put what he put in that medical bag.
Well,
which you must.
You don't know everything you don't know everything he had in there. He might have had, the whole kit and caboodle.
He could have had a Tupperware with his lunch in.
The doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney. I love it so much. I also put, I don't know if you want to play any videos, but I just have this one video of that. It's my favorite.
I'm good for now, but thank you for the offer. Okay. But they all beam into Golden Gate Park. And this scene was kind of a bit of I know it was a setup for another scene. But why didn't they just beam aboard the Klingon bird of prey? She already knows it's there. They could have just beamed her off it. But the ladder comes down, the ramp to get on board comes down, and they help Chekhov back on board. And Kirk wants the frequency and the general location of where the whales are. And just at that moment, she jumps on and she says, "Surprise!" And she just jumps on. And she hitches a rider, becomes a stowaway on board the Klingon bird of prey.
She's lucky it just didn't beam her arms and her legs off.
What if it had a Tuvixed? That'd have been bad.
Or Brundleflied them.
Yeah. It could have done the transporter accident out of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Look what happened to those two.
Yeah,
what they got back didn't live long, fortunately.
It could have done the fly and mixed Kirk's DNA with a female cetacean.
Kirk would like to mix his DNA with a certain cetacean scientist from the 20th century, but that's for another time. Maybe in Kirk's apartment.
Boobs, like that advert for the electricity company.
Yeah, we mentioned that when we did Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah,
I wanted a brolly. I didn't want a brolly, you Wally. That was great. And then it was the guy from Heidi High who did the rest of the ad. Mr. What was his name? Oh, God.
I don't know.
You know the one I mean, the smarmy posh one.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, they take off from Golden Gate Park, and I love how it blows these joggers away. Not in a good way, mind you. Don't they hang on to the fence rails at one point? I like such force of this thing taking off. But it's funny, there's all this dust and they're getting blown around. But if you notice the trees and the bushes behind them, they're not even being moved at all. Did anybody notice that? That's a bit of a goof, I think. Yeah. So anyway, flying.
But this is also when Kirk finally says, "Scotty, beam me up."
Yeah. The one and only time. Well, the first time. Yes. Although people had been saying it for years, it was just a popular misconception. He didn't actually say it up until that point. You are quite right. Just a quickie, Esther. You know, just above those trees there, don't you? Would that be Alcatraz in the background there?
Do you have another shot? No, I don't think so. Alcatraz is further toward it's not very far from the bridge.
Right.
That looks closer to the closer to the Oakland Bay Bridge than it does the Golden Gate. But
well, if I don't know something, I will genuinely ask.
But you see that big patch of green on there? I think that's Twin Peaks, and I used to live on there off to the left a little bit.
No, I thought you were going to say you lived on Sarah Palmer. Was it Sarah Palmer? Twin Peaks?
Oh.
Anyway.
Laura,
that was it. Laura. Yeah, it's been so many years. All I can remember is Cal McLaughlin saying this is a damn fine piece of pie. What's your kind of favourite pies?
Harry.
Oh, Mary pie, as in Mary Berry.
Mary pie,
yeah. Anyway, in the future, all you have to do is put a frequency in. This makes me laugh. In Star Trek The Motion Picture, they were confused by radio. Now they understand it completely. Because all communication in the future is via subspace. So you would have thought they know what radio was. They didn't in Star Trek The Motion Picture. Bizarre. So
also he tells them to maintain radio silence on their communicators, which I don't think there's any way in hell the 20th century could be able to pick up those transmissions.
Yeah, exactly, because they use subspace. So anyway, he says, put that frequency and location up on the screen, and Gillian says, how can you do that? She's in a spaceship from the future. That's how it works. The miracle of plot devices. There you go. It's bad news for the whales. It's never established the nationality of these whalers. Whether they're Russian, but they sound Norwegian.
Yeah, they definitely look Scandinavian in sound.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Just know they're in the Bering Sea.
Yeah,
they're in the Bering Sea.
So they should be Russian or
exactly.
Or more likely Japanese, honestly.
Yeah. You would have thought, I mean, the Japanese are more into whaling than anybody. But they couldn't. I know why. Let's make them ambiguous white people speaking a foreign dialect. They could be from anywhere. To that point,
Argentum says their nationality is asshole.
Well, there you go. Thank you for that. Anyway, it's bad news. There's a whaling ship heading towards George and Gracie, who were just swimming by, minding their own business. And they get ready to fire this impressive missile. Well, it's a spear. But
harpoon.
Yeah.
The subtitles at this point have calls out in foreign language, so the ambiguity is maintained throughout.
Oh, you've got to maintain that ambiguity because you can't specifically point a finger at anybody, can you? Not in these movies anyway.
Yeah, but what if you're watching the subtitles in your own language? Do they change it for calls out in our language?
I don't know. Is anybody from Norway that can translate for us or let us know? What did it say on your subtitles? But I like this. They fly straight over this ship, but they're still in like a nosedive configuration. And just as they fire this harpoon off, thank you, Esther, I couldn't get the word out. It goes bong. It's the side of Klingon bird of prey, which is still cloaked, by the way. And then it decloaks. And this is just so fantastic. It's hovering above this ship like that. And they're trying to get away from it. And it's like, hang on a minute, you're turning in a circle in water. How far are you going to get? Seriously.
Yeah, the amount of cheering in the movie theater at this point, like half the people stood up, everyone was clapping and cheering. This was just the most celebratory moment, I think, in the whole movie.
It certainly is.
I first saw it, yeah.
And the quality here of ILM's work is on par here. They must have given them a bit more money because earlier on, some of the recycled shots from 3 were great, but some of the earlier shots weren't that sharp. But if you look there, there's some right quality there in that shot.
Oh yeah, when the bird decloaks in front of the ship, I think it's the coolest looking scene in the whole film.
Unless they purposely saved the money to make it look that detailed, sort of like in perspective with that ship. Maybe that was the plan. Who knows? But in any case, it is a great visual shot. And you get some kind of scale of how big a Klingon bird of prey actually is. So anyway, stand by, Admiral. I've never beamed 400 tons aboard before.
Yeah, those whaling boats aren't very small since,
no, they're not. I mean, they've got to get a whale on deck for a start, haven't they? And then they chop it up, obviously. So it's got to be quite an impressive size. Have you spotted many impressive-sized whales these days, Z?
Only in the retro bars.
There is Ozempic now, and I hear it's popular. Apparently, if Ariana Grande turns sideways now, you can't even see her. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Like Paper Mario.
He beams 400 tons aboard. 400 tons? That much? Yeah, it's the water as well. Which is great because you hear the ship creaking and everything before it even beams anything aboard. So George and Gracie and a whole load. Thing is, was there enough space for these creatures to actually take a breath if they needed to? Did Scotty compensate for that?
Well, you have to assume that he did.
I don't know.
They survived.
Oh, yeah.
They somehow have enough oxygen.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they are mammals and they do need to breathe. But
well,
even
that's why
just
I brought
fish
it up.
Need those. You got to have those bubbles.
There's no gills on a whale, love.
It would have been such a tragic ending if they got back to
no,
Earth.
I know, I know.
Floating on the top of the tank.
Hey, Admiral, let's stop by a giant toilet and flush them down. Imagine that.
Yeah. An average humpback whale needs to breathe every 5 to 15 minutes, but they are capable of diving for as long as an hour if they need to. So,
well, there you go. We have to ask these questions because nobody else is asking it. This is another bone of contention with this film for me because he says warp speed and they're still in the atmosphere. Like about 30 seconds later, warp 1 is the speed of light. If you were to go at warp 1 around the planet, you would do 7.5 revolutions every second around the planet. And yet we're still lingering in Earth's atmosphere, just shy of that. It must be the whales. So anyway, they're doing the reverse of what they did in the beginning. They're going back to the future. That sounds like a great title for a movie.
If only somebody thought.
Well, maybe in another universe. Who knows? So anyway, they're going back to the future, doing a reverse of what they did the first time round. And he says, are we back? And then, that. And they become victim to the probe's destructive waves. And there it is. What are you trying to say, Esther? Why did you say it like that? Like Z?
You forgot Jimmy Doohan's favorite line. Admiral, there be
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah. Whenever they're beamed up, whenever they beam up the whale.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I know what you're on about now. Yeah, Admiral, there'll be whales here. Only in a disco, Scotty. Well, that's an English bit of humour there. So the probe's still doing its thing. And it looks whaley, doesn't it? It looks got that leathery, blubbery texture to it. It looks very moist, I think. Do you think so, Z?
Very moist. I bet.
Have you ever seen anything as moist and black as that before?
I have indeed.
You're a lucky man.
GAY,
so anyway,
summer of 1996.
Oh, bringing back those memories.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I bet that brought a tear to your eye.
So the calculation's slightly off because they come back just before they leave.
No, they come back at the exact moment they left. Because when they go into warp speed, these come out of warp speed because he says, getting back. And then it's like, look, Sarek says, look, they're about to hit the bridge. So it's more or less as
perfection.
They leave. Yeah. It's almost, an intersection. So anyway, the Klingon bird of prey's out of power, and it's heading for the bridge. Get him back! Get him back! That's a weird-looking alien. Did we ever establish what species this is? And why is this commander?
Idea.
Why is this? What's that sash on his?
Why is he wearing jingle bells on his head? Is this a Christmas movie? I think this might be a Christmas movie.
Well, Joel, you say this is a Christmas movie, and I'll go with that interpretation. So there's Sarek going, look, and they're about to come down on the bridge, and luckily they fly underneath it. And it's amazing. They only get any sparks or anything when they actually hit the water, which is, kind of weird, really. So they skim across the bay a little bit, and they've got to blow the tanks, otherwise the whales are going to drown. And this is where Captain Kirk says, blow the hatch. They all start getting out, but Scotty and Dr. Gillian are trapped in the cargo hold. But, Kirk's there. I'm here, Scotty. And he comes and gets them. But he's got to let the whales out. So remember that red lighted device before? That's what this was. I said it was a plot device a bit earlier. So Kirk goes in, saves the day, saves the whales, opens the hatch. This was actually done in the car park at Paramount. It's making use of what you've got on a movie. And, Leonard Nimoy kind of slips character a little bit. There's the animatronic whales. Behind where they are.
He tries to turn his joy into a grimace to say
I notice. He kind of catches himself, doesn't he, in the moment. There's like, rein it in a bit. Behind the Klingon bird of prey, there's actually a billboard in the Paramount lot where this was filmed.
Is there?
Yeah.
What's it got on it?
I don't know. I could not tell you. If you look at the making of, it'll show you exactly what's on there. Not Z3PO. Is that one of Swapper's socks, or have you got a sock account?
I don't have a sock account. I'm far too lazy to get one of those.
I believe you. Crack wave tank.
Not Z3PO.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But
we should note just how cold the water is right outside of San Francisco Bay. You can die of exposure in as little as 20 minutes. There is no way they are jumping around, frolicking, having fun in that water.
Yeah, but it's the future. Global warming. It might be warmer. There you go. There's a loophole for you. Anyway, the George starts responding to the whale probe because it's only the males that carry the song. Thank you, Dr. Gillian Taylor of the Cetacean Institute in Sausalito. And there's a bit of a bizarre exchange. And I noticed when this probe starts sailing off on its merry way when it's happy, that whales still exist on planet Earth. I'm sure there's a bit where it sounds like it goes, bye, bye. Did anybody notice that? Always bugged me. Yeah.
It does sound like it's saying something at the end, which is one thing they never actually wanted to do with the whale probe, is make it be so that we could understand what it says. Leonard Nimoy nixed the idea of using subtitles.
Yeah,
but also if you listen to it, when you give it a rewatch the next time, just listen to what the probe does, and it honestly it sounds like, if you imagine it, it's like bye bye.
Yeah, and does it leave? It came all that way over the course of thousands of years just to say, hey, you guys okay? Yeah, sure. See ya.
Yeah.
And hopefully the whales say, we're not going to be here the next time you come back. Please don't destroy Earth next time.
You never know. Next time it happens, and if there's no whales about, they could probably do a nice simulation, do like a holodeck recreation. That would have been far simpler.
Better insulation. It's really messing with our riz. So
yeah. So it's good news for everybody because this probe stops interfering with electricity in the future. Everything starts coming back on, and the atmosphere starts repairing itself. And Starfleet's back to full operational mode. No Jane Wheedling in this scene, or any. But as soon as the probe stops, everything goes back to normal. And this is the scene where Leonard Nimoy has to rein himself in a little bit, because you can see him kind of like cracking half of a smile. And then there's a bit where they get a bit competitive and they start pulling each other off. Did you notice they were pulling each other off, Z?
I'm usually at the centre of anybody being pulled off.
Oh, Mr. Sulu looks very excited.
Sausage party.
He seems very aroused by all this tomfoolery happening.
Oh my!
Oh my!
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
If that's your cup of tea, I prefer coffee. So anyway, a shuttle comes and picks them up, which is probably a good thing because, as Ista rightly says, that's damn cold water right there, and you wouldn't last long. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Time for a court-martial, or is it?
Yeah, they surf a lot right outside that, but you have to wear a wetsuit. You can't just go in the water in a bathing suit.
I will imagine. Now you've
One of
said
my favorite
wet.
Spock moments, where he decides to stand with his shipmates.
Yeah. Well,
he's not supposed to be in trouble.
Well, he's like he says, he stands with his shipmates, and he does right. You know that's they risked everything to bring him back. He's reciprocating that because, you know, these people have spent the best part of 30 plus years together. They've served together. They've spent shore leave together. They're a family. You know, this is all kind of like a metaphor for family. And there we go. Dodgy looking president. Would you like to come in my ice cream van? So, yeah, when they read the charges out, some corroborate with the people. Because, like, you know, attack on Federation personnel, Mr. Sulu, because he gave that guy the flip, didn't he? That big
tiny.
guy. Yeah. Don't come tiny. Nobody says that. Bend over, and I'll show you I'm not tiny. The only one who's not really done anything wrong is Chekhov, really. Apart from
Spock.
Miri. And she's guilty of assault on Federation personnel. She made Mr. Adventure go in a closet, and he's probably still there. Did anybody ever know what happened to Mr. Adventure? Do we know? Do we care?
Still in the closet.
Still in the closet, yeah.
Sabotage of Federation equipment, namely the USS Excelsior. Scott, I took these out of our main transwarp computer drive.
Yeah, that thing's so dodgy. It's begging to be sabotage, though, man.
Ain't it just?
Hardly works as it is.
Yeah, and they're all steely faced. But Kirk's the one that takes the brunt of it because all the charges are dropped, bar for one, and that's breaking the chain of command and disobeying the commander of Starfleet, Admiral Morrow, who isn't in this, bizarrely enough, which is weird. Because that'd have been nice if they'd brought him back for this. Maybe he was busy. Who knows? So anyway, Kirk's reduced in rank. He's no longer a Rear Admiral. Did you know he was a Rear Admiral, Z?
The only admiral I care for.
I thought it said Avril then, and I thought you were going to start talking about Avril Lavigne, but never mind, moving on. Obviously, the Admiral you like the best is the Rear one, and he gets demoted in rank back to being a captain, and he's been given a commission to do what he does best, and that's be the captain of a starship. So he tries cheekily to get Gillian's number. As they say in your century, I don't even have your number. She's like, yeah, I'm in future now, mate, and I've got someone else to look after. Bob Hope. See you. Jog on, mate. Oh, well.
I'll see you around the galaxy.
Yeah.
I hesitate to tell you guys this, but Rear Admiral is a 2-star admiral in the U.S. Navy, and a 1-star admiral is known as Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Who Mrs.
Hello.
Mr. Humphreys. Are you free, Mr. Z?
I most certainly am.
No, you're supposed to go, I'm free. But never mind. So Spock has a bit of a touching moment with his father. They never got on, never seen eye to eye, which many sons do with their fathers. And
this is the last time that Mark Leonard and Leonard Nimoy are seen together on screen, because although they both appear in Star Trek VI, they have no scenes together.
And it's the same in Unification as Reunification.
Unification. Yeah, in Unification, they're both in the episode, but they don't interact.
And this is the payoff to the scene very early in the film with his mother. And just, again, this movie is a masterpiece of setup and payoff.
Your associates are people of good character.
They are indeed. If you're enjoying the stream, by the way,
they're my friends.
Consider subscribing and give us a like as well. Comment down below, is this one of your favourite all-time Trek movies? So they part on good terms, really. But look at, I don't know whether it's just being a Vulcan or what, but Sarek just so looks disappointed every time he has any dealings with his son. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, but not this time. I don't think so. I think he was very, he says, do you have a message for your mother?
For your mother.
And Spock says,
tell her I feel fine. I feel better than James Brown. Like that song.
Yeah, which
I think it was an acceptance of Sarek, of Spock's life.
Yeah, and for me, that's the payoff of this whole movie, because it wasn't Star Trek 3 when we got Spock back. It's this movie when we really get Spock back. And there is a scene that the movie doesn't linger on. It goes by really quick. But she goes, why do you hang out with that creepy guy who calls you Admiral? And the look on his face, like, that's a much deeper question than she could have realized that it is, because he's just spent the last, few months breaking all of those Starfleet rules and regulations to go and rescue him. And the look of just pain that briefly flashes on his eyes, and then the smile. I mean, it's a wonderful moment that the movie doesn't really call attention to.
Well, she doesn't truly understand the dynamic. Like I said before, these people are, for want of a better phrase, that they are a family. So anyway, they're being assigned a new ship, and Sulu says, I'm counting on Excelsior. Why would you want that bucket of bolts? Scotty really does not like the Excelsior. And Kirk's like, ship's a ship, whatever we get. And we're introduced to the A, the NCC 1701A, the Enterprise, which was actually the Yorktown. They rebadged it as a gift, as a treat, as a reward for saving the planet.
Even so, I still think this is the best iteration of the Enterprise on screen.
Yes, the refit was spectacular. But this is like the refit, the Constitution class, with all the bugs ironed out, everything working. Although technically not true, because we get to find out in that film we don't mention on this channel, 5, that there are bugs. But never mind. But we get a nice beauty shot.
Beautiful.
And we get a nice bit of Aztecing back. They brought the Aztecing back on the new model, albeit temporarily.
Absolutely gorgeous. And I just want to say the Excelsior class and the Enterprise C, ugliest ship ever to show up in Starfleet.
Oh, and I think Gene Roddenberry even refers to it as a pregnant duck. I wasn't sure which ship he was talking about, but that's probably it.
Yeah, I think that is the one.
But this, I'd tell you something, the A has a more of a roundness in the secondary hull. That's very complementary to the design. But this is a completely new model. They rebuilt, the ILM built a new model, and they used it right through until 6. Although they wouldn't have used the proper one in 5 because it wasn't ILM. And Kirk says, let's see what she's got. Look at Scotty. He's still got the Excelsior face on there. But old Bones is like, yeah, the gang's back together, the band's back together. And I love this bit. I love it when these, when the nacelles go purple, you know what's about to happen. It's cracking. And off into warp drive. Off and ready for the next film. But we don't talk about 5. We did a bit of a committee decision, didn't we? Oh, thank you, Jill. That's so kind of you. Merry Christmas, Jill. Jill says, my friends, we've come home. True. Thank you to me. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you, Jill. Much appreciated. You don't have to pay to come on. I feel bad now. And we didn't even give you any eggnog.
No, I just like to. Oh, well, next time. Just a little rum with that also, if you got any.
Okay, no worries. I wonder if they still have eggnog in the future. No, surely nobody's got allergies in the future. Yeah, this is a great film. I love it.
Not 5.
Kirk is allergic to Retinox 5.
He is indeed. That's why he's got the glasses. Thing is, though, they're going to have to buy him some more glasses. I think he should have gone to Specsavers, Z. What do you reckon?
Yes, definitely.
Zenny.
Yeah. Anyway, just briefly, Just give me a quick summary, Jill, of why you love this film and how good a Trek film is it in the grand scheme of things.
It's the best. It's the absolute best of all the Star Trek films for me, personally. And I want to thank you for inviting me. I'll talk about this movie on any channel, anytime, all of the time. And it's my favorite. It's not just my favorite Star Trek movie, it's my favorite movie, period. It has everything that I love about Star Trek in it. It's a great encapsulation of the futurism, of the hopefulness of the future, especially with the pills that McCoy just happens to have all these pills in his pocket that'll help regrow your organs. Pretty incredible that he carries those around with him, and it's just my favorite.
I'm just wondering, Z, pills that regrow organs, do you think they can do anything with a Hammond?
They most certainly can. The little blue diamond-shaped pills.
Oh, those can't. Yeah. Not that organ, though. Z, what do you think? If you could sum up this film, how good of it is it for you in the grand scheme?
It is the one with the whales. It's okay.
Sandra and Tracy.
It's probably one of the top 3 Star Trek films, in my opinion. I still prefer Undiscovered Country and Khan over this.
Oh yeah,
but you know that's all down to individual preference, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is indeed.
But there's an interesting thing in Undiscovered Country that is kind of just in the background. You see a painting of whales, but they're killer whales and orca whales. So I feel like it's just a nod to this movie saying, but this one is more violent.
True. Esther, for you, how do you rate this in the Trek verse?
I sort of rate this alongside the others. This is the only Star Trek movie without a villain in it. I think
you're wrong. You're wrong. There is a villain in it.
Yeah, man.
Man.
Yeah. The thing about it is, I think it is the most fun of all of the Star Trek films. It was made with a conscious degree of fan service, but not in a bad way like we use it now, like in the good way. This was sort of like a real gift to Star Trek fans. It is more accessible than some of the other movies. And, I still get hit in the feels every time I watch it. So, I definitely put it up there. I like all of the TOS movies better than any of the others, maybe with the exception of First Contact, but that breaks so much canon, it really bugged me. But this
movie from Cochrane in particular,
yeah. But I mean, this movie is just pure fun, and for all of its flaws, it's so well paced. Like once it starts, you're just going in through it for the whole time. I was thinking when I watched it last, if they made this into a TV show, like each part. Like they would have like Chekhov in the aircraft carrier for an entire 50-minute episode, and it'd be, oh God, hurry up. It's just, it never drags. It's so well paced. And like I said, lots of really small setup payoffs. It probably has more comedic moments than any other movie as well. There's a lot of good laughs, but it's very sincere and heartfelt. I just love this movie.
It's lucky this film is 4, because for me it is the 4th best out of the TOS movies for me.
It is a part of the trilogy. It is a great trilogy when you do Wrath of Khan, and
it's the only one that kind of breaks continuity in tone and theme and musically and directorially. And it's great in that sense because they go to modern day Earth, and that's what makes this film fun. Just before things up, I want to thank you again, Jill. Thank you for the $5. That is fantastic. I really do appreciate that, and I hope you and your family have a fantastic Christmas. Also want to thank Mr. Brown too for giving us some pot noodle money. Thank you for that. Ian's on with his show. Is it tomorrow, Z?
It is tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, tomorrow and Sunday. And also, Z, I hope you and your family have a fantastic Christmas time.
Well, I thank you very much, Trev.
I hope you get everything you deserve for Christmas.
I most certainly have. The strap-on's already arrived.
Nice. And Istophobos, I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, my friend.
Well, thank you, and I hope you all have a lovely Christmas and happy Festivus as well. I usually spend my Christmas this year, all the family stuff was Thanksgiving. So I'm hoping for a quiet, uneventful Christmas. I do some specific volunteering over this time, and I just hope everything's like smooth and uneventful. Let's put it that way.
And that's how it should be at Christmas time.
That's so good of you.
It's very kind. And I want to say a Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. Thank you for taking part tonight, and thank you for joining in. And there's no streams the rest of this week. We will be back next Tuesday on Just Great Movies with another Trek film. A Journey's End. Next week, we'll review possibly one of the best and most action-packed Treks ever. Many fans think this is as good as The Wrath of Khan, if not better. Join us next Tuesday from 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern, as Trek December continues on Just Great Movies.